another thing society puts a lot of pressure on is Valentine's Day. But I think more than anything, what the world needs now is for everyone to love themselves. Hey nerdy ghouls, welcome back to my channel. I'm MANDYSPOOKS, and here we celebrate the magic of love, life, and pop culture. Today I wanted to really share a message from the heart and talk about one of my own personal challenges, which is balancing work and rest. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of feel like society puts a lot of unnecessary pressure on us to either work as hard as it wants us to or rest as much as it wants us to. And I feel like a lot of the pressures that are put on us are not a one formula fits all situation. You know, some of us love to work and don't necessarily like to take breaks, aka myself. Some of us love to rest and embrace seasons and feeling productive, and some of us unfortunately just don't have the opportunity to rest like others do. And I thought that it was a really important message to share because I think that there is a very big misconception that hustle culture is bad or that you need to be this amount of productive and you need to rest this much. And I just want to kind of shatter all of it and say, do what works best for you and embrace it, and just know that I'm here rooting for you. I have personally found that embracing rest in smaller forms is what works best for me, and I want to share some of my self-care tips with you guys today. Self-care here is just a pun on self-care. If you're new around here, I'm MANDYSPOOKS, so obviously I love to add my own little sprinkle of spookiness to everything, but I also know that a lot of our community uses horror movies, haunted houses, Halloween season to really decompress and escape reality. And I think that that was kind of what inspired the whole pun on self-scare, aside from it sounding spooky. But just in case you hear me switch between self-care or self-scare, it is the same thing. But more than anything, I wanted to say that, you know, another thing society puts a lot of pressure on is Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day should be about dating someone and having the flowers and the balloons and chocolates and showing off to the world. But I think more than anything, what the world needs now is for everyone to love themselves. I know I sure could use a little bit more of that in my own life every day. So I want you to use this video as permission to take any tips or don't take any tips. Use whatever works best for you. But I really, really hope that at some point this month you think, MANDYSPOOKS told me to take this moment for myself, because you deserve it. You're amazing, you're magical, and you cannot fill someone else's cup if yours is empty. So I wanted to share what has worked best for me over the last few months. You guys have seen the difference on camera. You've seen it come together. I am much happier, I'm healthier, I'm full of a lot more energy, and I'm just a better version of myself than I was a year ago. So I really hope that some of these things help your journey as well. So before I dive into my long list, what I wanted to say is, for me personally, I have found that I am too busy to rest peacefully for long periods of time. It just stresses me out more if I take a break for like a whole day or 2 whole days and all I think is like a list of to-do things that are piling up. And I know that a lot of you are working ghouls as well, and maybe even single mothers, and just, I get it, it's hard. Like, it is really hard to take time for yourself when you have a lot of other pending responsibilities. So for me, what has worked best is learning what small activities or like just little things I can use to kind of re-energize myself and love myself throughout any crazy busy day. So to kick off the list, she is right here. She's gonna get mad at me. But number one for me is cuddling with my dogs. I cannot stress enough how sometimes I can be having the craziest day and I will just like be walking around and I'll see my dogs on the bed and I'll be like, okay, I just need to take 2 minutes to lay down on this bed and cuddle these dogs so hard and love them and let them give me all of the serotonin. And after that, I'm just like, okay, I feel better, the dogs feel better, we can all continue. And it's just something really small to do. And if you don't have pets, that's okay. you might have children as well. I mean, they are the best. I just saw my niece and nephew recently, and it was probably the biggest energy boost I could have used, and just so much love. And if you don't have children around, pets around, you know, like find something that brings you joy, a blanket, a stuffed animal, like just something cozy that you give yourself permission to just like use as comfort for 2 to 5 minutes a day. I promise it'll help. So my next tip is, I recently found that you all know my journey with clutteriness. I just talked about it in last week's video about decluttering my physical books. I'll put it right here. But as I mentioned then, my bags are one of my obsessions, and I try really hard not to have any other things that create bulk. So I have always really loved wax melts because they are not as bulky as candles are, but I have found that candles just have this cozy aesthetic that bring me so much joy, and it's like the simplest thing I can do. So now I've learned to kind of only allow myself to have like one candle at a time, use it to its magical full life, and then get a new one. And my latest obsession is this candle in particular from Purple Daisy Bath Company. You ghouls, I have no idea what to tell you other than it smells like walking into a Starbucks extremely early, like that one day a year where you have like this really crazy thing you have to attend, and you get in and they haven't been brewing coffee like all day. It's just like the early morning, so it's not like a full Starbucks smell. That's what this candle smells like. It is a coffee, I believe it's coffee and brown sugar. I'm so sorry if I get it wrong, but it is a coffee scent. And it smells so good. And I'm not saying it doesn't smell like an actual Starbucks because it doesn't smell strong enough. I'm just mean like that's really the aroma it gives. It's like the ground coffee beans and just like the perfect amount of caffeine that you need in the morning that also keeps you feeling cozy all day. I am just really obsessed with it. The biggest thing I forgot to share about the candle is just a candle can make any activity any day at home better. So whether you're just gonna work from home, you're just gonna like cook, do the dishes, like light a candle, I promise that it'll just give you this moment of, I guess, peace that you don't get when you're not doing it. So I have found that's what works very well for me. So I hope that you all will check out Purple Daisy Bath Company. I actually have one more product I'm really excited to share with you guys in a later tip. The next thing I want to introduce to you ghouls is my latest obsession, which is cozy gaming. Cozy gaming is an entire niche that I had no idea existed, and I wish I had discovered it sooner, to be honest. So cozy gaming is, I don't even know how to explain it to you guys, to be honest, but it's basically video games that are very chill. You can play at your own pace, kind of just check out of reality, do something very relaxing that brings you cozy vibes, isn't high stress, and usually involves like life simulation games or farming games. And the one that personally introduced me to this entire world is Disney's Dreamlight Valley. If you're following me on Instagram, then you know how obsessed I am with it. But for those of you who are not familiar with gaming, Dreamlight Valley is a life simulation game that is basically you creating your own Disneyland, is the best way I can explain it. You get quests with different characters like Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Elsa, any Disney character you could think of. Really not any, because we're still at the very beginning, but you get the point. So you have quests, and to complete the quests, you have to like farm and mine and pretty much just do like what farming games have, but you have the added perks of getting to engage with characters and build relationships with the characters from Disney. My favorite part is that you also get to buy clothes with the money you make from farming, and you can design your own clothes. You can get bags like, you know, like these kind, but they're actually free because it's in a video game. And as you can tell, it just brings me so much joy. I have always wanted to be a gamer, but can't find a game that like fits me. But cozy games are a whole other vibe, and I'm so happy I discovered them because now I kind of use it as my like before bed ritual, where like If I've had a crazy day, I'm really busy, probably after this, I'll be like, it'll be 8 or 9 o'clock. I finish filming after working all day and I just feel like I'm still on go, go, go. So it's a really nice way for me to check out of reality, do my daily tasks. And by that, I mean farm, take my daily selfie, have a conversation with Mickey Mouse, you know, like the good old dream life that I wish I actually had. And it just helps me tune everything out and relax for the day. And I'm so happy that I discovered it. My next tip is to surround yourself with things, memories, products that bring you joy. One of my biggest joys is supporting small shops, supporting people that I care about. And one of those is one of my really good friends, Sam, who owns Toil and Trbl. She has a line of crystal soaps that are really cool if you ask me. You know, I've talked about it before, but Sam uses like actual witchcraft and magic with her soaps. So she like casts spells as she's creating the soap. They are made with so much love. But these soaps are basically something that I always need around me in my home, because every time I have to do something as mundane as like washing my hands, it brings me joy to think like this piece of soap or this bar of soap was made with so much love. There's magic in it, and I'm also supporting a really good friend, a really good witch, I should say, because the soap is amazing. And something that I really love about the soap is how deceiving it is. I have told her that she needs to like figure out a way to like package this without packaging, if that makes sense, because this box is so deceiving. I feel when I took it out for the first time, I was like, holy wow, this is a big piece of soap. Like, you don't realize that when you see it, but when you take it out, it is like the entire size of my palm, and it's thick and it's chunky. And I have literally been testing this myself because I wanted to know, how long does this bar of soap last? And we are already going on our 3rd month of our first bar of Toil and Trbl soap, and it is still not finished. It is to the point where I'm like, I wish they were smaller because I just want to try a new one. So I'm really excited about sharing this with you guys because it's something as small as this that can bring so much joy, just like knowing that you're supporting someone. And I also wanted to ask you a quick little Valentine's favor. Sam actually came over to drop off a fresh piece of soap to share with you guys today, because she obviously didn't want me to show you guys the used one. She wanted you to see a really nice one. So she came over to drop it off, and unfortunately during that time, somebody stole her purse from her car, and I feel so horrible about it. So if you are enjoying this video and you appreciate everything I do, I would really appreciate if you guys would really consider checking out her website in the description below and purchasing a soap from her to really help her replace the items that she lost in her purse. Even though some of them were emotionally irreplaceable, it would still mean a lot to me. Along with these simple things like soap, how I said, helping with the mundane tasks, I also surround myself with things I absolutely love, like bags, but also one of the things that is most dear to me is my mug collection. So that is something that I highly recommend as well. You know, like coffee, if you can't already tell, is a really big part of my life. So Mr. Spooks created an entire coffee mug rack for me. And I just think there's something special about having things that bring you joy around. And I know that sounds so silly and so simple, but it's really just like the thought behind it. Like, I now only have mugs that are completely intentional and mean something to me. And as you all could tell through the book video that I mentioned earlier, you know, I really try to make sure that everything in my home truly brings me joy to some capacity. And if there's like even one negative thought associated to it, like I don't talk to the person who gave it to me anymore, or this reminds me of like this point in my life, then it's gone, because I just want happy vibes. Look who decided to join us. My other cozy little friend is right here. Huh, Bruce? Say hello. Okay, I'm sorry. He got too excited with that one. All right, so since we were just talking about coffee, I thought that would be the perfect segue into my next tip, which is spoil yourself. And the reason I say that is because, look, I am not, despite what you all might think, I am not the most materialistic girl there is out there. You know, I know a lot of girls love to get like the fanciest nails done, and they get their hair done every month, and just like, which no judgment, by the way, because that is great. That is self-care as well. But I am just not like that. But there are very few things that I do love to spoil myself with. And one of them is my gel manicure every month, which was actually something that a lot of you mentioned in your responses about how you practice self-care. But another one is my actual shower products, which are so hard to find because I'm not a bath time kind of gal. Like, I don't like to take baths. Like I said, I'm always on the go, but I do love to take showers. And this foaming sugar scrub from Purple Daisy Bath is absolutely amazing. And if you couldn't already guess, it is brown sugar and coffee. And I love that I can like spoil myself on the go in the shower. It feels so yummy and luxurious. Like, it feels like I'm using whipped cream with coffee in it. I know that sounds so crazy, but it's just like the nicest thing in the world to know that like on any day I can just jump in the shower and use something that gives me like so many luxurious vibes on my skin, leaves me feeling great after, but also as I'm doing it is just this like cozy vibe that I always need, because as you all know, I love coffee. So I think it's just like this perfect combination of like all my worlds coming together with this one product. Now, like I said, I am not a bath kind of gal, but I really wish I was, because I feel like my whole world would come together because I could cozy game in there and I could also read in there. So the reason I am bringing up reading again, because you all obviously know that I do it, is I want to kind of share how I read, I guess. So as I've mentioned, I'm a slow reader and I also don't have a lot of time to read. So I have learned to really allow myself to enjoy how slow I read. And what I mean by that is sometimes I don't have time to sit down and read half a book or even an entire book in a day like some people do. Not only because I don't have time, but I'm just a slow reader. And so I've learned to embrace that, and I am okay with sitting down and reading one chapter on a random night and accepting that I'm probably not going to touch the book for another 2 weeks if I'm lucky. And so that's kind of how my reading journey has gone. And I hope that if there's anyone out there who can kind of relate to that, that this also helps you feel better knowing that everybody reads at different levels at different speeds. Some of us are busy. Some of us have other hobbies that we're dividing all of our time between, like me. And so I just want you to know, like, that is how I tackle reading. And pretty much all of the things that I'm talking about, like, I have learned to give myself permission to accept that it's okay if I only have 30 minutes once a week to enjoy one of those things. All right, and my next one is kind of an obvious one, but the reason I wanted to share it is because one of my best ghouls, Hello Sparkles, shared, excuse me, sorry, I got distracted. I hope you all are not distracted by this cuddly little bear. So what I was saying is Hello Sparkles actually shared something that helped me realize one of my things and put together. It's amazing. So my tip was going to be to allow yourself to watch your guilty pleasures on TV. And what I mean by that is, do I think that Emily in Paris is the best show ever? No. Do I enjoy it? Yeah. So I'm gonna let myself watch it and enjoy it and like accept like this is just a guilty pleasure I'm gonna enjoy. But something Hello Sparkle said is that she purposely only allows herself to watch certain things for self-care by herself. No kids, no husband, no dogs, so that she can truly decompress and enjoy the moment. And I really love that, and I'm gonna implement that rule like yesterday. Only because like I love my dogs, but you guys just saw like literally less than 5 minutes ago, what was she doing? Distracting me. And sometimes, you know, a ghoul just needs a moment to herself. No commentary, no distractions, just you, your TV, and whatever is happening on there, right? So that is a little I guess, nerdy ghoul haunt tip for you guys. And I saved the most important tip for last, and there's a reason for that. Because I myself don't know how to actually give the advice for it sometimes, but my biggest tip for self-care is to learn how to set boundaries. And I know that that is not easy for everyone, because a lot of you responded to me telling me that you also needed help in this area as well. But I have learned that when it comes to setting boundaries, most of the time when you set a boundary, people will either A, respect it, or B, have no idea how to react to someone setting a boundary, so they back off. And I think that this is probably the most important rule to self-care, because if you don't learn how to do it, you are going to run yourself dry. And it took me 31 years in my life to learn how to set a boundary, and I hope that you all can learn it sooner. And it can be something as simple as just saying to someone, I'm sorry, I don't have the mental capacity to go out tonight. Do you mind if we reschedule? And owning that is totally okay. And I want you guys to know that there are days when Mandy Spooks cannot be Mandy Spooks, and she just wants to go to sleep and rest and sleep it off, and that's okay. And another much easier boundary that I feel that has changed my life, especially as a content creator, is learning how to turn on your do not disturb setting on your phone. But I will find myself like in crunch time on a project at work in the middle of the day, like it could be 2 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon, and I'll be like, oh my God, like I just feel so overwhelmed right now. I don't know what to do. And something as simple as putting your phone on Do Not Disturb can totally change your entire day, because all of a sudden you stop getting Instagram notifications, you stop getting weather updates, you stop getting text message notifications, and it is the absolute best thing in the world because it allows you to actually focus. And it has changed my life, honestly. So if you have not tried it, I highly encourage it. And I'm really excited that Instagram has recently released a new feature called Quiet Mode that really helps, especially content creators, learn how to create a work-life balance. Because I love you ghouls so much so that it literally led to burnout, because I didn't know how to set boundaries with DMs, with comments, with our Discord server. I just wanted to be available for all of you 24/7 because I love you so much that I don't ever want you to think that I'm ungrateful or I don't appreciate you. But this is me sharing with you how to set a boundary. It is okay to not be available for everyone 24/7, and I really hope that everyone in this community would agree with that, because that is the kind of energy we are putting out in this nerdy ghoul community moving forward. So that is all I have for you ghouls. I hope that this has helped you to some extent. I feel like as I'm saying these things, they sound really silly, but honestly, they have really helped get me to the point where I'm at today that you all are loving and enjoying again. And I would really love to hear from you what some of your self-care tips are in the comments down below if I didn't already touch them, or if you also practice one of these self-care tips, let me know in the comments down below too. I would love to know that I'm not just some crazy weirdo that thinks turning a candle on is self-care. And aside from that, like I said, I just really hope that you all take this to heart and give yourselves the permission to enjoy self-care in any capacity that it is. It's okay if you are a workaholic like me, and it is okay if you like to indulge a little more in rest mode so that you can be fully energized when you get into productive mode. Whichever part of the productivity rest wheel you are on, you are welcome here and you are magical, and I hope that you really embrace that. But more than anything, I really hope that at some point this month, you take a self-care moment and appreciate yourself and love yourself for all of the magic that you create. Until next time, sending you ghouls and kisses. Bye!